The first Karate Kid movie begins in 1984, featuring a teenager named Daniel LaRusso who relocates with his mother to Los Angeles, California, after moving from across the country. As Daniel attempts to adjust and connect with his new classmates, he finds himself attracted to cheerleader Ollie Mills, which sparks tension with her ex-boyfriend, Johnny Lawrence. Johnny, part of the aggressive Cobra Kai dojo, relentlessly torments Daniel with help from his fellow students. During a particularly vicious assault, Daniel is rescued by the quiet and elderly handyman, Mr. Miyagi, who effortlessly defeats the Cobra Kai attackers. Impressed by Mr. Miyagi's martial arts abilities, Daniel asks him for karate lessons to stand up against his tormentors. Mr. Miyagi agrees, but only if Daniel enters the All-Valley Karate Tournament, where he can face Johnny in a fair and honorable match. At first, Daniel is eager to start his training, but he soon grows frustrated when Mr. Miyagi has him doing what seem like basic chores. Later, Mr. Miyagi reveals that these tasks were actually building Daniel's muscle memory, secretly teaching him essential defensive techniques. While training Daniel, Mr. Miyagi begins to share the sorrowful story of his past, revealing that he lost his wife and unborn child during childbirth while she was held in an internment camp in World War II. Separated from her as he served in the military, Miyagi was later awarded the Medal of Honor for his bravery. Daniel grows to value not just the karate training, but also the wisdom Mr. Miyagi imparts, becoming stronger both as a martial artist and as a person. His relationship with Ollie also deepens. As the tournament nears, Daniel celebrates his 18th birthday and receives a heartfelt gift from Mr. Miyagi, a traditional karate GI and a vintage car. When the All-Valley tournament kicks off, Daniel quickly shocks everyone by fighting his way to the semifinals. This alarms the Cobra Kai dojo, run by the merciless Vietnam War veteran, Sensei John Kreese. Determined to stop Daniel, Kreese orders his student Bobby to deliberately injure him with an illegal blow to the knee during their match. Although Bobby is reluctant, he follows Kreese's orders and injures Daniel, getting himself disqualified but leaving Daniel seemingly unable to continue. Refusing to quit, Daniel asks Mr. Miyagi to perform a pain relief technique so he can keep fighting. In the tournament's final round, Daniel comes face to face with his longtime rival, Johnny Lawrence. The match is intense and evenly matched, with both fighters struggling to gain the upper hand. In a last-ditch effort, Kreese orders Johnny to go after Daniel's injured leg. Despite his guilt, Johnny follows through with the ruthless tactic. Though badly hurt, Daniel summons his inner strength and uses Mr. Miyagi's iconic crane kick, landing the decisive blow that defeats Johnny and crowns him the tournament champion. In the end, Johnny comes to respect Daniel and hands him the championship trophy himself, as Mr. Miyagi looks on with pride at his students' triumph. The story picks up in The Karate Kid, Part 2, beginning right after the All-Valley tournament ends. Furious over Johnny's defeat, John Kreese lashes out at him, but Mr. Miyagi steps in just in time. He subdues Kreese and comes close to delivering a fatal blow, but chooses compassion instead. Witnessing this, Johnny gains a new perspective and decides to leave the Cobra Kai dojo with his friends. 6 months later, Mr. Miyagi learns that his father is gravely ill. Meanwhile, Daniel, now single and uncertain about his future after high school, agrees to join Mr. Miyagi on a journey to Okinawa to say a final farewell. Mr. Miyagi shares with Daniel that, in his youth, he had fallen in love with a woman named Yuki, even though she was promised to his best friend, Sato. When Miyagi revealed his desire to marry her, Sato, feeling betrayed, challenged him to a duel to the death. Rather than fight, Miyagi chose to leave Yuki behind and flee the country. Now, upon returning to Okinawa with Daniel, Miyagi is once again confronted by Sato, who insists that their long-delayed fight will take place in 3 days to finally settle their old grudge. Back in his hometown, Mr. Miyagi grieves the loss of his father and reconnects with Yuki, who reveals she never married Sato because her heart still belonged to Miyagi. He soon discovers that Sato, now a wealthy and influential industrialist, has exploited the village for personal gain, leaving its people in hardship. Miyagi ultimately agrees to face Sato in combat, but only if, should he win, Sato will return ownership of the village to its people so they can thrive once more. As the confrontation nears, Mr. Miyagi also begins teaching Daniel a special family technique known as the drum method, which focuses on rhythm-based counterattacks. While training with Mr. Miyagi, Daniel grows close to Kumiko, Yuki's niece, and clashes with Sato's hot-headed nephew, Chozen. Just as the day of the duel arrives, a powerful typhoon hits the village, prompting a mass evacuation. When Sato is trapped beneath the wreckage of his dojo, Miyagi and Daniel bravely step in to rescue him. Daniel then puts himself in danger once again to save a frightened young girl lost in the storm. When Sato urges Chozen to help Daniel, Chozen refuses. Seeing this, Sato steps in himself, rescuing both Daniel and the little girl. Outraged by his nephew's cowardice, Sato publicly cuts ties with him, denouncing Chozen's dishonorable behavior. After the storm clears, Sato makes amends with Miyagi and returns ownership of the village to its people. To celebrate this gesture, Sato organizes a village festival attended by Miyagi, Daniel, Kumiko, and the grateful townsfolk. But just as the celebration begins, a vengeful Chozen interrupts the event, demanding a fight to the death with Daniel. As Chozen begins to overpower Daniel, Mr. Miyagi and Sato rally the villagers to cheer Daniel on, reminding him of the drum technique. Daniel masterfully applies the technique and defeats Chozen. Faced with the chance to end his enemy, Daniel instead chooses mercy, mirroring the compassion Miyagi once showed Kreese. In the end, the village unites in joyful celebration, while Mr. Miyagi watches with quiet pride, reflecting on the peace and strength he's helped bring to those around him. In The Karate Kid, Part 3, a financially ruined and bitter John Kreese turns to his ruthless war buddy, Terry Silver, for help in reviving Cobra Kai and plotting revenge against Mr. Miyagi. Meanwhile, Daniel moves in with Mr. Miyagi, and together they open a peaceful bonsai shop. As Miyagi teaches Daniel new elements of karate, Daniel starts a new romance with a girl named Jessica. Their peace is soon disrupted when Mike Barnes, a fierce and ambitious karate champion, shows up, determined to challenge Daniel at the upcoming All-Valley tournament. When Mr. Miyagi advises Daniel to decline the tournament, Barnes and his goons retaliate by trashing Miyagi's bonsai shop and hurting Jessica before escaping. Feeling helpless and determined to fix the damage, a frustrated Daniel decides to unearth a special bonsai tree Miyagi had brought from Okinawa, hoping to sell it for money. But before he can, Barnes appears once again, this time cruelly snapping the treasured tree in two. While Mr. Miyagi gently nurtures the broken bonsai, he urges Daniel to stay centered and not let anger consume him. But Daniel, filled with resentment toward Barnes, becomes determined to fight back at the All-Valley tournament. When Miyagi refuses to support this path and declines to continue their training, Daniel seeks guidance from Terry Silver, who pretends he wants to reform Cobra Kai and restore its honor. Unbeknownst to Daniel, Silver is deceiving him, secretly teaming up with Kreese and Barnes to manipulate him and destroy the bond between Daniel and Mr. Miyagi as part of their calculated plan for revenge. Under Silver's influence, Daniel becomes increasingly aggressive and quick-tempered. Things spiral when he lashes out and attacks a stranger, someone secretly hired by Silver to provoke him. Realizing how far he's strayed, Daniel is filled with regret and turns to Jessica and Mr. Miyagi to make amends. Miyagi forgives him with compassion, even sharing the hopeful news that the broken bonsai has begun to heal. Reunited, Miyagi agrees to train Daniel once more, helping him prepare for his showdown with Mike Barnes in the All-Valley Tournament finals. The match is fierce and punishing, ultimately coming down to a sudden death overtime round. As the final match wears on, Daniel begins to doubt himself, but Mr. Miyagi reminds him to trust in everything he's learned and to fight with heart. Renewed with confidence, Daniel delivers the performance of a lifetime and triumphs over Mike Barnes, claiming victory in the All-Valley tournament. With Kreese and Silver disgraced and Cobra Kai in ruins, Daniel and Mr. Miyagi share a heartfelt embrace, celebrating another hard-earned win. The journey continues in the next Karate Kid, where Mr. Miyagi attends a memorial honoring World War II veterans. There, he meets Louisa Pierce, the widow of one of his fallen comrades. Pierce introduces Mr. Miyagi to her teenage granddaughter, Julie, who's been acting out in grief after losing both her parents in a tragic car accident. Miyagi agrees to stay and help guide her. At school, Julie meets Eric, a kind-hearted member of the Alpha Elite, a strict, militarized student group led by the harsh and controlling Colonel Paul Dugan. The Alpha Elite enforces discipline through fear and aggression, and their top enforcer begins harassing Julie with unwanted advances. As Julie slowly opens up to Miyagi, she shares that her late father once taught her karate. Moved by her story, Miyagi takes her to a peaceful Buddhist monastery, where she begins to learn emotional control, balance, and deep respect for all living things. Mr. Miyagi teaches Julie how to dance, helping her feel more confident as she attends the event with Eric. When Ned sees Julie and Eric sharing a kiss, jealousy drives him to ambush Eric, viciously beating him with help from the other Alpha Elite members. Julie and Miyagi arrive just in time to stop the assault, prompting Julie to confront Ned in a one-on-one fight. Drawing on all the wisdom and skills passed down by Mr. Miyagi, she manages to outmatch and defeat him. Furious, Colonel Dugan demands that the rest of the Alpha Elite attack Julie, but for the first time, they see through his cruelty and refuse to obey. Mr. Miyagi then steps in to confront Colonel Dugan himself, defeating and publicly humiliating him in a decisive fight. With their leader disgraced, the Alpha Elite disbands, and peace is restored. Mr. Miyagi walks away alongside Julie, triumphant once more. The journey continues in The Karate Kid, 2010, where we meet 12-year-old Dre Parker, who has just relocated from Detroit to Beijing with his widowed mother, Sherry. As Dre tries to adjust to his new life and make friends at school, he develops a crush on a talented violinist named Mei, much to the dismay of Chung, a jealous classmate who also likes her. Chung, a student at the aggressive Fighting Dragons Kung Fu school, begins tormenting Dre with the help of his fellow students. When Dre is ambushed and beaten by Ching and his gang, he's unexpectedly rescued by the quiet and humble maintenance man, Mr. Han, who effortlessly overpowers the bullies with precise Kung Fu. Stunned by Mr. Han's skills, Dre begs him for lessons so he can stand up for himself. Mr. Han agrees, but only if Dre commits to entering an official Kung Fu tournament to settle things with Ching in a fair match. Initially eager, Dre's enthusiasm fades when his training seems to consist only of monotonous tasks, like constantly putting his jacket on and taking it off over and over again. In time, Mr. Han reveals the truth behind the repetitive tasks. They were secretly building Dre's muscle memory, teaching him foundational Kung Fu techniques without him even noticing. As their bond grows, Han brings Dre to a serene Taoist temple, where they witness a woman gracefully mirroring a cobra's movements, a powerful lesson in focus and balance. During their journey, Mr. Han opens up about a haunting chapter from his past, the loss of his wife and son in a car accident he blames himself for. Deeply moved, Dre commits to fighting not only for his own growth, but also to help Mr. Han find peace. Through discipline and compassion, Dre matures both as a martial artist and as a young man, even earning the respect of Mei Ying's once skeptical father. As the Kung Fu tournament kicks off, Dre stuns the crowd by advancing through the rounds and earning a spot in the semifinals. This alarms the Fighting Dragons dojo, where the cold and merciless Master Li takes charge. Li orders his student, Liang, to deliver a brutal and illegal strike to Dre's leg during their match, disqualifying himself, but leaving Dre seriously injured and seemingly out of the competition. Refusing to surrender, Dre pleads with Mr. Han, who performs traditional fire cupping to relieve the pain and get him back on his feet. In the finals, Dre faces his ultimate test against Chung. Under pressure from Master Li, Chung ruthlessly targets Dre's injured leg. Though in agony, Dre digs deep, channels his focus, and executes the Cobra-inspired movement he once observed, outsmarting Chung and winning the championship with honor and heart. In the end, Chung humbly acknowledges Dre's strength and growth by handing him the champion's trophy himself. Witnessing true honor and discipline, the other Fighting Dragons students turn their backs on Master Li and instead choose to embrace Mr. Han as their new Kung Fu mentor. And if you're curious to see where the legacy continues, with Daniel LaRusso, Johnny Lawrence, and their old and new foes as adults, don't miss our complete recap of all 6 seasons of Cobra Kai, right here. Over the years, the Karate Kid saga has given us a legacy of grit, growth, and heart. But not every chapter landed the same. Here's the VibeCaps rating for each film in the franchise. The Karate Kid, 1984. A timeless underdog story that started it all. Emotionally powerful, iconic training scenes, and unforgettable characters. VibeCaps rating, 9 out of 10. The Karate Kid Part 2, 1986. A deeper dive into Mr. Miyagi's past and a heartfelt journey in Okinawa. Beautiful, but slightly slower paced. VibeCaps rating, 7 out of 10. The Karate Kid Part 3, 1989. Darker, more intense, but loses some of the original charm. Still delivers the fight, but not the heart. VibeCaps rating, 6 out of 10. The Next Karate Kid, 1994. A fresh lead and a new direction, but lacks the emotional weight of earlier films. VibeCaps rating, 5 out of 10. The Karate Kid, 2010. Not just a remake, it stands on its own. Jackie Chan brings depth, and Jaden Smith delivers. Visually stunning, emotionally solid. VibeCaps rating, 7.5/10. From Daniel San's first crane kick to Dre's reflection technique, the Karate Kid continues to inspire generations. And that's the VibeCaps rating, where stories aren't just told, they're remembered. If you enjoyed this recap, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to VibeCaps for more emotional deep dives, and share this with a friend who needs a little Miyagi wisdom in their life. Until next time, stay strong, stay balanced, and remember, wax on, wax off.